The night over Scotland grows darker, the air heavy with whispers of secrets too dangerous to stay hidden. In the quiet village of Braemar, shadows move against the glow of torches, and every step carries the weight of loyalty, love, and betrayal. This is not just another chapter, it is the turning point, where every choice cuts as deep as a blade. And every oath may become a curse. The story of Braemar begins with silence. A silence so thick it presses against the chest like a storm yet to break. The village sleeps, but beneath the calm, unrest is rising like fire beneath ash. The people here live close to the land, their hands hardened by work, their eyes marked by memory and caution. Yet tonight, there is no ordinary peace. Tonight, Braemar waits. In the heart of the village stands the gathering hall, a place of council, where words have the power to bind lives together or tear them apart. Candles burn low within its wooden walls, their small flames bending against the draft, throwing shapes that twist across stone floors like restless spirits. At the long table sits the weight of old promises, promises made in blood, promises that can no longer be kept without cost. The echoes of footsteps approach, slow and deliberate, each one ringing louder than the last. They belong to men and women who carry more than their cloaks. They carry burdens of family, of heritage, of love torn between duty and desire. Their faces remain in shadow, but the meaning of their presence fills the room like thunder on the horizon. Braemar is no stranger to conflict, yet this time the storm brews not from outsiders, but from within. The bonds of kinship are stretched thin, and even the strongest of ties may not endure what is to come. Secrets have been guarded fiercely, but no wall can hold them forever. Beyond the hall, the land itself seems to brace for what is about to unfold. Mountains rise in the distance, their peaks swallowed by clouds, their silence broken only by the cry of a raven circling above. The old ones say such birds carry omens, warnings of blood and broken vows, and tonight their cries seem sharper, more urgent. In the meadows, the wind bends tall grass in waves, as though nature itself trembles at the weight of choices soon to be made. The people of Braemar know the world beyond their village is unforgiving, yet what they face now is more dangerous than any enemy across the battlefield. For this is a battle of heart against heart, of loyalty against truth, and when it ends, no soul will remain untouched. Not in the distance, torches flicker against the hillside, lights that mark the arrival of riders who carry with them both news and danger. Their horses move swiftly, the sound of hoofs pounding against the earth like drums of war. Those waiting within Braemar know their coming is no accident. They bring with them the weight of decisions that will set the course for generations, decisions rooted in bloodlines, in family honor, and in the kind of love that defies reason but demands sacrifice. Every rider holds a part of the story, a piece of the truth that has been kept in silence for far too long, and now, as they draw near, the quiet village is about to awaken to a reckoning it cannot escape. The night thickens, the sky lowering itself like a shroud, and the first drops of rain fall upon the cobblestone paths. It is as if the heavens themselves know what is coming, as if they prepare to wash away innocence with the storm. The air hums with tension, a tension that seeps into every home, every heart, whispering to those awake that nothing will remain as it was. Children sleep unaware, their dreams filled with the warmth of hearts and the safety of family, while their elders lie awake, knowing the dawn will bring truths that will shatter both hearth and family alike. Braemar, once a place of pride and unity, is about to be torn between what was sworn in loyalty and what has been hidden in silence. And so the stage is set. The village waits in shadows, the riders draw near, and the hall stands ready to echo with words that will shape fate itself. The question is not whether the storm will break, but who will survive its fury, and who will be lost to the flood of betrayal it carries with it. The riders arrive before dawn, their cloaks soaked with rain, their horses steaming with the heat of the long journey. The sound of their approach has already pulled the village into restless wakefulness. Shutters crack open, lanterns flicker to life, and eyes peer from the dark corners of Braemar's narrow lanes. No names are spoken, but whispers move quickly, faster than the storm itself. They have come at last. The clatter of hoofs slows as the riders enter the square. And the tension that has long lived in the bones of this village finally steps into the open air at the edge of the gathering hall. The door creaks wide, and shadows spill out to meet them. There is no cheer in this welcome, only the quiet heaviness of people who know that fate has crossed their threshold. The leader of the riders dismounts, tall and broad-shouldered, but his face remains hidden beneath the hood of his dripping cloak. In his hand, he carries a sealed letter, its wax broken, its words no longer bound by secrecy. It is not the letter itself that draws the crowd, but what it represents, a truth long buried, now unearthed. The hall swallows them one by one, the doors closing behind as though sealing the village away from the world beyond. Inside, the air is close and heavy, scented with damp wool, wood smoke, and unease. The letter is placed on the long table, its parchment curled from the damp, its ink bleeding at the edges. No voice dares to speak at first. Instead, the silence presses deeper, each breath a reminder that revelation often comes with a price. When at last the words are read aloud, they are not spoken like ordinary lines, but like a summons. The letter speaks of blood that binds, blood that betrays, blood that demands answers. The names written there are not strangers but kin, tied to Braemar's very roots. The weight of each syllable strikes like iron against the heart. And as the truth spills into the dim chamber, the people who once believed themselves bound together now feel the first tear in their unity. Some rise to deny what is written. Their voices sharp with anger, their hands clenched as though ready to fight shadows. Others sit in stunned silence, unable to find words at all. Between them lingers suspicion, the kind that grows like poison, creeping into every glance, every pause. Trust, once taken for granted, now feels fragile as glass. The hall becomes not a place of counsel but a place of division, each heartbeat pulling the people further apart. The letter is more than words. It is a blade, cutting into the fabric of the village itself. Outside, the storm grows louder. Rain lashes against the windows, and thunder rolls over the mountains like a warning. Nature itself seems to echo the turmoil inside, as though the earth refuses to stay silent while bonds of loyalty unravel. The raven circles again above the hall, its wings slicing the air, its call piercing through the storm. To some, it is an omen of death. To others, a call to action. But to all, it is a reminder that the world beyond Braemar does not wait for them to resolve their quarrels. It presses closer with every moment, hungry to claim what is weakest. Not as voices rise and clash within the hall, a new fear begins to take root. If what the letter reveals is true, then choices made years ago, choices of love, of loyalty, of survival, were not what they seemed. The foundations of families may have been built upon lies, and bloodlines once thought pure may be marked by secrets too dangerous to admit. For in a world where honor and kinship are everything, the discovery of betrayal is not just personal, it is fatal. The storm batters Braemar, but within the hall, another storm rages, fiercer still. Oaths are questioned, allegiances doubted, and faces turn upon one another with suspicion sharp as steel. Yet amid the chaos, one truth begins to rise above all others. The village cannot remain as it was. The past has broken through, the present has splintered, and the future will demand sacrifice. The letter has done its work. It has awakened the hidden. It has set Braemar on a path that cannot be turned aside. When the candles finally gutter low, and the voices fall to weary silence, the people of Braemar know that dawn will not bring peace. It will bring choice. And choice here is as dangerous as any blade. The dawn comes not with warmth, but with a gray, unyielding light. The storm has passed, yet the village of Braemar does not feel cleansed. Instead, the air is thick, as if the rain washed away not the dirt of the earth, but the last traces of certainty. The square is quiet, empty of laughter, absent of the small rituals that once bound the people together. Where children once played, only puddles reflect the broken sky, and where neighbors once greeted one another, doors remain shut, their latches drawn tight. The night has changed them all. The letter's revelations spread faster than fire. Whispers seep beneath doors, coil through smoke rising from chimneys, and settle like dust on every corner of Braemar. What was once spoken only within the hall is now carried in murmurs, reshaped by rumor, sharpened by fear. Names are no longer spoken without weight. Every lineage is questioned, every oath reconsidered. To some, the truth is a weapon. To others, it is a wound. But to all, it is a reminder that the foundations of their lives may not be as steady as they believed. In the heart of the village, two figures walk apart from the others. Their paths cross not by chance, but because secrets have drawn them together. They do not speak, yet the silence between them is thick with knowledge. One carries guilt, the other doubt, and though their eyes do not meet, both know they share a bond forged not in loyalty but in the breaking of it. The world may see them as allies, even as kin, but inside they are divided, trapped between what must be confessed and what must remain buried. Each step they take leaves behind the echo of betrayal, as though the earth itself remembers their choices. Meanwhile, within the council hall, the elders gather once more. The candlelight feels weaker now, their shadows stretch longer, their shoulders bend as though under unseen weight. The letter lies still upon the table, though its words have already traveled beyond parchment into every heart. Some argue it should be destroyed, that fire should consume it and silence the whispers it has birthed. Others insist it must remain, a record of truth no matter how painful. The debate is sharp, filled with voices raised not in reason but in desperation. For they know what hangs in the balance is not only the unity of Braemar but the survival of its people. Beyond the village, the land stirs with its own warning. The forest looms darker, its branches clawing at the pale morning sky, while the mountains stand distant and unmoved, as though indifferent to human struggle. Yet even nature seems to listen, the wind carrying the echo of raised voices, the river swelling with rain as though to remind the people that time does not wait. Whatever decision Braemar makes, it must be made swiftly, for the world beyond their borders is already shifting. Riders will come again, not with letters but with steel. And when they arrive, Braemar must know where it stands or fall divided. But it is not only threats from beyond that press upon them. Within the village, suspicion has become its own enemy. Eyes that once looked with trust now narrow with doubt. Families that once shared bread now lock their doors. The simple act of drawing water from the well is watched, each gesture weighed for signs of betrayal. It is not open conflict, not yet, but the silence is sharp enough to wound. Every heart carries fear, and fear, left unchecked, becomes the sharpest weapon of all. Yet even in the midst of unraveling, there are those who cling to hope. A whispered vow beneath the branches of the old oak. A hand grasped in secret, promising to hold on despite the storm. A single candle left burning in a window, a signal to the lost that they are not alone. These small acts seem fragile, yet they shine brighter against the growing darkness, defiant in their simplicity. For while the truth has divided Braemar, it has also revealed what matters most: love that endures, loyalty that bends but does not break, and the courage to face a dawn that demands more than silence. Still, the choice lingers heavy, unspoken but inevitable. To deny the truth is to preserve unity built on lies. To embrace it is to risk tearing the village apart for the sake of honesty. And so Braemar waits once more, suspended between two paths, each one promising loss, each one demanding sacrifice. The dawn may have arrived, but peace has not. Instead, the village stands at the edge of something greater than itself. A reckoning that will either forge it anew or leave it in ruins. The day drags heavy across Braemar, the sky never brightening, as though even the sun hesitates to cast its light upon a village so fractured. Hours move slowly, marked not by bells or laughter, but by the uneasy silence of people who no longer know where they belong. And then, as dusk gathers, the silence is broken not by words, but by the sound of horns carried on the wind. It is not the cry of the raven this time. It is the call of men. From the ridges above the village, torches flare to life, a jagged line of fire against the dying light. Riders descend, their banners snapping in the cold air, each one marked with colors not of Braemar, but of kin who claim the right to enter by blood. The storm of paper and whispers has become a storm of flesh and steel. The letter was only the beginning. Its truths now ride into Braemar with voices too loud to be ignored. The people spill from their homes, faces half lit by fire, half buried in shadow. Some clutch children's clothes, others grip at hidden blades, while others still stand frozen, unable to move. The square fills once more, not with trust, not with counsel, but with the weight of confrontation. Those who arrived last night now return with more than words. They bring demands. They claim the hall. They claim the letter. They claim the right to decide what the truth must cost within the council hall. The letter still rests upon the table, its parchment now dried and brittle from the damp. But the words remain, and the weight of them has only grown. The elders sit stiff, their eyes weary from the endless arguing. Yet tonight there is no time left for debate. Decisions must be made, and made quickly, for the sound of boots and hooves outside grows louder by the breath. The truth cannot be hidden, but how it will be carried forward is still a choice. Will it be a burden borne in silence, or a banner raised at the cost of unity? The doors burst open, wine and voices flooding into the chamber. Figures step inside, cloaks cast off, faces revealed, not strangers, but blood. Cousins, uncles, once brothers, now turned challengers. Their eyes burn not only with anger but with the bitter ache of betrayal. They demand answers, not in whispers, but in shouts that shake the rafters. And suddenly the hall is no longer a place of judgment, but a battlefield without swords, where words cut deeper than any blade. Every face turns toward one another, searching for truth, for guilt, for the smallest crack that might reveal where loyalty lies. And in that searching, silence shatters. Accusations spill forth, sharp as stones. Old wounds, long buried, are unearthed and hurled into the open. Promises made in youth are twisted into chains, and love once held sacred is cast into suspicion. The air thickens with anger, but beneath it all, there is fear, the fear that once spoken, words can never be undone. And so it happens. The first hand slams against the table. The first voice breaks past rage into declaration. Sides are chosen not with care, but with the raw instinct of survival. Some rise to stand with those who carried the letter, demanding the truth be honored no matter the price. Others turn their backs, clinging to silence, to unity, even if it means denying what has been revealed. Between them lies no middle ground, only the widening gulf of division. The hall, once the heart of Braemar, now pulses with the beat of a village tearing itself apart. Outside, the torches burn brighter, casting long shadows across stone and timber. Children cry, mothers hush them with trembling hands, and the young look on with wide eyes, witnessing the breaking of a world they once thought unshakable. The raven circles once more, its cry rising above the clash of voices, a single thread of sound weaving through the chaos. It is as if the land itself marks the moment, etching it into memory. This is the night Braemar changes forever, and when at last the shouting stills, the silence that follows is no relief. It is heavier, darker, filled with the knowledge that lines have been drawn, families divided, vows broken, and no hand left clean. The letter has done its work. It has awakened the truth, but the cost has been claimed in loyalty, in trust, in the very soul of the village. As the night deepens, Braemar does not rest. Fires burn, guards are set, and whispers linger long into the darkness. Choices have been made, but the reckoning is only beginning. For beyond the mountains, beyond the rivers, the world is watching. And soon, the storm that has torn through Braemar will spread, carrying with it the echo of broken oaths and the taste of blood. The village stands changed. The people stand divided. And the future, once shaped by promise, now sharpens into something harsher, something unstoppable. The story of Braemar is no longer one of peace. It is one of survival.